I broke into houses, killed everybody inside, and stole everything of value to entertain my drug addiction. My name is Richard Ramirez, and I was born on the 28th of February, 1960, in El Paso, Texas. My father's fits of anger often led to physical abuse towards my mother and siblings, which created a chaotic and unsettling environment. At a young age, I found solace in drugs and alcohol, seeking an escape from the turmoil around me. By the time I was 10 years old, I had already started smoking marijuana and consuming alcohol. As I entered adolescence, my dark fantasies began to merge with violent tendencies. On 10th of April, 1984, I committed my first known murder. I took the life of Mei Liang, a 9-year-old Chinese-American girl, in the basement of my apartment building in San Francisco. I beat, strangled, and raped her before ultimately stabbing her to death with a switchblade. I callously hung her partially nude body from a pipe using her blouse. This act marked the beginning of a pattern that would define my reign of terror. Breaking into homes, committing vicious murders, and often burglarizing my victims became my way of life. The money I stole served to fuel my cocaine addiction and support my basic needs. On my second known victim, I entered her Los Angeles apartment while she slept and subjected her to a brutal assault. Stabbing her repeatedly in the head, neck, and chest, I almost decapitated her. Vincent Charles Zazzera and his wife, Maxine Lavinia Zazzera, fell victim to my cruelty on March 27, 1985. I shot Vincent in the head while he slept and proceeded to beat and bind Maxine, demanding her valuables. Maxine's attempts to defend herself were met with fatal consequences as I shot her 3 times. I tried to rape her dead body, but could not get an erection, because she almost killed me. Instead, I then mutilated her body, carving a pentagram into her back and removing her eyes. On the night of 29th of May, 1985, I drove a stolen car to Monrovia and targeted the house of Mabel Ma Bell, 83 years old, and her disabled sister, Florence Nettie Lang, 81. Inside the house, I found a hammer in the kitchen and proceeded to bludgeon and bind Lang in her bedroom. Afterward, I bound and bludgeoned Bell, using an electrical cord to shock her. I then raped Lang and used Bell's lipstick to draw satanic pentagram symbols on her thigh and the walls of both bedrooms. 2 days later, the women were discovered alive but in critical condition, although Bell eventually succumbed to her injuries. On the 5th of July, 1985, I broke into a home in Sierra Madre and attacked 16-year-old Whitney Bennett as she slept. Armed with a tire iron, I brutally assaulted her. Failing to find a knife in the kitchen, I attempted to strangle her with a telephone cord. To my surprise, electrical sparks appeared, and when Bennett began breathing, I fled, believing that Jesus Christ had intervened to save her. Despite the savage beating and attempted strangulation, Bennett survived, requiring 478 stitches to close her scalp lacerations. On 7 July, 1985, I burglarized the home of Joyce Lucille Nelson, 60, in Monterey Park. Discovering her asleep on the living room couch, I mercilessly stomped on her face repeatedly, leading to her death. A shoe print from my obvious sneaker was imprinted on her face as evidence of my presence. After scouting 2 other neighborhoods, I returned to Monterey Park and selected the home of Sophie Dickman, 63. Holding her at gunpoint, I assaulted and handcuffed her, attempting to rape her and stealing her jewelry. When she insisted that I had taken everything valuable, I demanded she swear on Satan